It's full. It's down the ground. It'll be at least one. Saini, he's got an injury with the groin. It goes as far as the fence. India, incredible. Rishabh Pant is the star. India win the test. They win the series. And they win the hearts and minds of cricket fans all around the world.
India pulled off the impossible, snapping Australia's 32-year unbeaten streak at the GABBA to defeat Australia and win the Vodafone Test Series 2-1. Needing 324 runs to win on the final day, India were in control from start to finish. Shubman Gill and Cheteshwar Pujara put on 114, with Gill set for a maiden century, only to fall short, out for 91. Pujara was the rock of the innings, batting for more than 5 hours for his 56, while Rishabh Pant took the attack to the Australians.
Hits it hard, Rishabh Pant. Hits it deep. More success for India.
Pat Cummins was heroic in taking 4 wickets, but Pant could not be removed, finishing unbeaten on 89 to guide India to a 3-wicket win and ensure they would retain the Border Gavaskar trophy. We spoke to former Australia captain Ricky Ponting after play about India's incredible win in Brisbane. Ricky Ponting, this incredible series is finally over and India are the winners. Can you believe it?
I actually can't believe it. No, I'm quite shocked that Australia weren't quick enough to win this series, considering everything that the Indian cricket team has been through over the last 5 or 6 weeks with the captain leaving and all the injuries they've had. They've been through 20 players and we've been at full strength, all bar Davey missing early on. So it's it's really hard to comprehend. But having been there and commentating on the games, you can see how it's happened because of how resilient they've been. They've played really good, tough, hard Test match cricket day in and day out, and won all the big key moments through the series. I think that's been the difference between the two teams. That India have won the big moments in every Test match, and Australia have fallen short.
Ricky, how about those knocks from Shubman Gill, Cheteshwar Pujara and Rishabh Pant on day 5 to give India that remarkable win?
Yeah, Shubman Gill, I think, showed his real class, didn't he, today? I mean, I think we've seen glimpses of it through the series already, but today I think he just put another stamp on what, an opening spot that could be his for as long as he wants it really now. I mean, for an Indian player to come to Australia and play the way he has in our conditions says a lot about him and his talent and his temperament. So, he was superb. Pujara, I was sort of a little bit worried about that he might have been batting India out of the game, to be honest. Not giving him a chance to win, but he held up one end and the other guys did enough around him, and then Rishabh, just came and put the icing on the cake. I know him really well, and I knew that he would have been cherishing and relishing an opportunity to go out and try and win a game for India. He almost did it in Sydney with that 97 there, but today was just good, sensible Test match batting again. I mean, he'll always try his hand and he'll always try and take the bowling on, but he's a very, very good player, and more importantly, he's a great character to have around the cricket team. Yeah,
and what did you make of Australia's tactics in the field on day 5?
Oh, look, I thought they seem to be doing most things right. They just, I don't think the wickets haven't deteriorated certainly the way that I thought they might. Sydney and Brisbane, to be fair. Look, I'm not sure what more they could have done today tactically. Mix and match the bowlers around from different ends, tried Nathan Lyon at different ends, gave Mitch Stark a few overs of some short stuff to try and drag a few shots out of some of the Indian batsmen. That didn't really work. Cummo was outstanding again, as was Josh. They both bowled beautifully. But at the end of the day, they just weren't good enough. They just couldn't break the defences of the Indian players. And really, today, created very few chances. So that's been the real worry for Australia the last 2 tests, is that they haven't created a lot of chances on late on or any time on day 5. So you can understand that they were tired and fatigued, the Quicks, and even Nathan to that degree, who bowled a lot of overs in Sydney. But look, it's going to be I'm sure it's a pretty bitter pill to swallow for Justin and the boys, to dominate Sydney like they did and not win and be in control of the Brisbane game for the majority of the game and then lose. I reckon it's going to sting this one.
Ricky, India get bowled out for 36. Their captain goes home. Half the squad gets injured. Then they bounce back in Melbourne. They hang on in Sydney, and then they win at the GABBA. What does that say about this Indian squad?
Look, it says that they're up for a fight. They're up for the contest. There's no doubt about that. I think Rahane's had a really good calming influence over their group as well. Since Coley has gone, I think they were going to need someone to have that sort of influence over their young group. But it also just highlights to me how many good young talented players that India have. Washington Sundar looked like he played 50 Test matches through the course of this game and never looked out of place. Shardul Thakur was the same. In his second Test match, picked up 7 wickets and 60 odd handy runs in the first innings. So yeah, that's what I mean about India sort of seizing the moment and winning their big moments better than Australia did. So yeah, I mean, I've obviously been around the IPL for a long time, so I know the talent that they do have in India. But when you've got to step up on the big stage in a Test match against Australia, it's a different story. But they've done it, and they've done it really well, and they've thoroughly deserved to win the series.
Ricky, you've played a lot of cricket. You've seen a lot of cricket. A lot of people are saying this is the greatest Test win by India and possibly the greatest win by a touring team in Australia. What do you say about those kind of claims?
It has to be. I mean, the cold hard facts of it are pretty much that was the India A team that played this Test match, and they've still won. So that's a real concern for Australia. I think we gave Australia the benefit of the doubt last time India were out here because Warner and Smith weren't there. Well, this time Australia's at full strength, as I said, and India, are on the bones of their squad. They're playing net bowls in Test matches and they're still winning. So, yeah, look, that's the worry I think for Australia. It's probably not even their second pick team because you think of Bhuvaneshwar Kumar and Ishant Sharma and those guys that didn't even make it out here. Rohit Sharma turns up for the last 2 Test matches only. So, we're probably digging deeper than even like an Indian A team, and they've still been good enough to win 2 Test matches here in Australia and good enough to win 1 in Brisbane, which just doesn't happen. So you can't take anything away from them. They've been awesome.
Ricky, you said a drawn series for Australia would be worse than the loss 2 years ago. Well, India have come out and won it. Australia have lost it. So just how bad is it?
Yeah, it's bad for those reasons I just outlined there. Australia have played some reasonable cricket through this series, but not sort of the dominating type cricket that I thought they might play, especially in Brisbane. When India lost pretty much all their frontline bowlers from Sydney, with Ashwin, Jadeja, and Bumrah all going out of one team. Their first innings batting in Brisbane is what's cost them. They made 369, but that was nowhere near enough. I think I said that to you after day one. Yeah. No, it just wasn't anywhere near enough runs. You look at some of the dismissals, and that's what they'll be ruling now. It just goes to show in Test match cricket, you can't take anything for granted. You take your foot off the throat for 1 second, and the whole game changes, and that's what happened with Australia. 209 odd in the second innings, that was okay in a third innings of a Test match, but 369 day one and early on day 2 when the wicket was an absolute road. It has to be said that was a great batting pitch early on in the game, and our guys just didn't capitalise.
And Ricky, after a loss like this, there's often a bit of change. Do you think this team needs an overhaul or just a few tweaks? No,
I don't think it needs an overhaul. I mean, coming into the series, they were the number 1 ranked Test team in the world, so they've been doing a lot of things right. Pekowski comes back soon. Hopefully, Green will stay there. The bowlers will, obviously all pick themselves. There's no need for any panic, but they've just got to find a way to play better cricket. I can't see how any personnel change really to that side is going to change much. I mean, there might be some talk about Matthew Wade, like I said to you the other day, but every other base, I think they've got the best players in those positions. It's just about a matter of those guys playing better, and I'm sure that'll happen. I think we'll see a pretty quick response from this bunch of players. They go to South Africa next. It's never easy over there, but you've got to respond. That's what good teams do. And if they want to be the number 1 team in the world, then they're going to have to bounce back pretty quickly. All right, Ricky, thanks for your time and analysis this summer. Cheers, Sam. Thanks, mate. That's it for Ricky's recap today and for the entire Test match summer. Don't forget to subscribe to the Unplayable podcast so you don't miss an episode. And for all your breaking news, live scores and video highlights, be sure to head to cricket.com.au and the CA Live app.